let's now move on to the next piece, which is the most exciting piece, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into the Chelsea predicted lineup. Before we do that, 50 people live right now. Smash the like button. Let's get those likes up to 50 straight away. If you're here and you're enjoying it, you're definitely going to enjoy this piece a lot. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time as well. Subscribe and share with many other fans out there if you can. All right, Taron, Chelsea predicted lineup. I mean, let's just put this in. The bad boy Mendy, there's no doubt about that. One of the best. Would you say, Taron, is the best? Would you call him the best in world football right now as a goalkeeper, or probably top 3? Would you go as far as saying he's the best at the moment?
Oh, I really want to. I'll say he's second best, to be completely unbiased. I really do want to say he's the best because of how good he was in the last, whole season even. He's faced more shots than he has even from January to when Tuchel came in, the whole of last season. And he's dealt with it. He can deal with games where he doesn't have to save much, and he can deal with games where he's under the cosh all the time. But I think it hurts me again as one of my best friends is a Bayern Munich fan, but Manuel Neuer is still above Mendy, in my opinion.
You put Neuer still above him, yeah?
Yeah, 100%, unfortunately. Neuer is above Mendy, but Mendy is catching up and he will be there very soon. Trust me.
Yeah, man. His numbers, his stats are incredible. I mean, these clean sheets are just piling up and piling up and piling up. For me, he's an incredible shot stopper. His ball playing ability is getting there as well. I completely understand when you say about Neuer, because Neuer's ball playing, that sweeper keeper sort of style of play, and Neuer is also fairly good. In fact, a very, very good shot stopper. At the end of the day, Mendy, I feel like that ball playing is probably the only thing that probably edges for Neuer at the moment. That's my perspective. Then again, it's not like I watch every goalkeeper out there. But for me, Mendy is very, very strong. Okay, Taron, I'm going to let you start with the back 3, and then I'll have my say. Who are you going with your back 3?
Left centre-back, Rudiger. And I've just seen a comment in the live chat. Not a good sign. It's difficult to see Rudiger sign a new contract by Di Marzio. That's not what you want to hear on a Friday night, fortunately. But do you want to make a comment on this one before I move on to the next one?
Yeah, man. This has been going on for a little while now, Taron. It's difficult to see Antonio Rudiger sign a new contract at Chelsea. I mean, Taron, I've said this, man. I mean, he's coming to sort of his end game. I know he's 28, he's in his prime, but his next contract is his probably final big contract. He's thinking about his family. He's thinking about his well-being. He's demanding a lot of money, which I don't think is unreasonable at all. But Chelsea, I'm scared, Taron. I don't think they're going to give him that money. He's asking somewhere around 200 to about anything in excess of 200K per week, which honestly, that's reasonable. But I think it's the number of years, Taron. Like Chelsea may give him that 1 year, maybe for 1 year or 2 years max. But they're not going to give him for 5 years, 200K. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know where a player may be in 5 years' time. Right now, you're good. Maybe we can give you for another year or 2 years. Because Chelsea is scared that once this guy hits 30s, who knows what the form is going to be like. Is Thomas Tuchel going to stick around as well? Because he's been playing great under Thomas Tuchel. We've been known for chopping and changing, managers. I hope Tuchel stays around. And the fact that he's going to be free, Taron, and he's going to be able to negotiate with all other clubs come January. And when you don't have to pay transfer fee, you can bump up the wages. So I'm worried, man. Taron, what's your thoughts?
I think I mentioned it on a stream we did before as well that, yeah, I think 200K a week is definitely acceptable and we would give it to him. But we know at this club, we do not give 5-year contracts to players that are about to turn 30 or 29, 30. Just for the future, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe John Terry was an exception, obviously. Yeah. That's the issue. Rudiger wants a place where he will have a 5-year contract where he can finish off his career. He does not want to be moving at 33 years old to Real Madrid while he's, he doesn't want to be playing for Real Madrid when he's 33, 34 years old. If he wants his big last 5-year move, he wants it now. And he wants to do the contract very, very soon, in fact. And if we do not offer that money to him and the 5-year deal, why would you blame him to move? He's basically, even if he win the Premier League this season with Chelsea, he's basically won everything that he can win. So maybe he just wants one more, try a different club. Like this comment says, Real Madrid could be a nice kind of final 5 years to his career. Barcelona, even, who are
Bayern Munich
awful right now. Bayern Munich, Juventus. PSG even, all these other teams he can move to. So I just think it's a 5-year thing, and you can't really blame him if he's offering a 2-year contract at the age of 28. It just doesn't make sense for me, to be frankly honest.
100%, man. I'm worried as well, man. I mean, it could be his final season at Chelsea. I do hope that we can find a middle ground. I think he wants to stay, but we'll see what happens. All right. Who's your middle CB?
I mean, it's difficult, but I'm going to go with Christensen. I don't know if you're going to agree with me. I like to see your reactions after I make that. I like to see if you're smiling or if you're just in the straight face emoji. But I'm going to go with Christensen. I think, I could talk about him all day. I really, really could talk about him all day, but we don't have all day, unfortunately. So I'm going to go on the right. It's difficult again. I'm going to have to go with Azpilicueta, right centre-back. I know we have not seen it at all. We have not seen this in many, many weeks. But Trev's played a lot of games recently. I know there was a kind of 2-week break. We'll bring him in for Southampton and we'll play him from there. But we can agree, Trev is not our first choice right centre-back. He is a rotation centre-back. So Azpi on the right for me.
Yeah, man. So far, I have to admit, give me 1 second, guys. Someone's just said to me, Ayub has just said, check out CFC Daily on CHO. Just have a quick look at this. Tuchel on Cho. It is as easy as that. Is there a turning point? Okay, he needs to prove it. He needs to play the next 250 games on the highest level, and then that was the turning point. But it's a turning point if it does brilliant match tomorrow. No, okay. Yeah, look, it is what it is. Look, for me, I like that back three. That's the exact back three that I was hoping for as well. Rudy, AC, Aspie. AC, first goal for Chelsea in the Champions League. Really well taken goal. And he's been one of the standout defenders under Thomas Tuchel. I mean, honestly, so underrated. Taron, not many people talk about AC that much. It's insane. In a world stage, I would have to put him as one of the top defenders at the moment out there. I mean, there's not that many that are better than him right now. So it's strange that he doesn't seem to get all that hype, all that, social media sort of exposure as I'd say some of the other players at the moment. But I would keep with this lineup. I'm keeping with Aspie as well in the RCB. The reason why I'm keeping with Aspie is, Taron, I really want to see RJ here. I really do. I mean, as great as Aspie has been from there, I feel like Aspie can do the same thing playing in this situation anyway. Whatever Aspie provides on the wing back, he can do that from here. Rudy bombs up from this area and he goes into these sort of positions. I see no reason why Aspie can't do that as well. He can do the same thing and he can whip in crosses from deep. And I do want us to see more. I want us to play the game from here, really. I want us to be here. Do you know what I mean? I want us to absolutely box them in. So I want RJ to play more frequently in the right wing-back spot and really provide those crosses, shooting opportunities from these sort of instances, help out in midfield if he needs be. I mean, Taron, do you want to see a lot more of RJ on a consistent basis? I don't want him to be chopped and changed. I know he's been injured, but now that he's fit, I do want to see a lot more of him. How do you feel about that, man? Especially
that Lukaku's not there. We can't really have another defensive. I know Aspie is nowhere near defensive kind of wing back, but we cannot have a defensive minded player, and that we need another attacking flair, someone from the team. And Reece James does have a goal in him. He does have a great strike. He does have a great cross on him, and he does have that pace and power to kind of drive into the box. So I'd say put Reece James right wing back. I think we mentioned Chalobah earlier. We said Chalobah is probably going to be in for the Southampton game. I think Chalobah is good going forward. We saw the goal against Palace. We saw, the header against Brentford. But Aspie has that little cross in him, that little overlapping run. I know this is ages ago, but do you remember the Burnley run where he went in behind Hudson-Odoi and just banged it past post? He does have that overlapping run, and he has so much technical ability in that final third. So that's kind of why I'm putting Aspie in the right centre-back role instead of the right wing-back role. And yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. And I know you mentioned AC just very quickly. I want to mention this. I would say AC is the best defender in the world right now. And I know this is crazy and a crazy statement.
I don't think it's crazy at all. I honestly don't think it's crazy.
I think he's been crazy at the Euros for Denmark.
For Denmark, he's been unbelievable as well.
And his record, clean sheets record, was it 42 and 52? And Rudiger's up there as well. But I think Christensen is the best. The best. And I'm saying it now. The best.
But I don't know how Rudiger and Andres Christensen weren't in that 30-man nomination for the Ballon d'Or. No. I really don't understand. There were some funny names there, bro. There were some absolute funny names, and I can't believe Rudiger and Andres Christensen weren't there. It is what it is. I mean, as I said, want to see a lot more of Reece James on that right side. And Taron, I just want to quickly ask you, a lot of people say that Reece James in that position, he just doesn't have that confidence, doesn't take his man on, he keeps passing it backwards. I feel like saying, Taron, that's where Thomas Tuchel needs to come in and say, that's where coaching comes in, and he needs to just tell Reece James, mate, go out there and express yourself. Like, don't be scared. You're playing as a right wing back. Go out there and threaten the opposition. I don't think Reece James is a player that can't do that. I feel like he has that in his locker. Taron, do you feel it's as simple as Thomas Tuchel just telling Reece James, mate, go out there and just be explosive in that side?
I think it's a combination of, yes, coaching and also developing your body in a good state to do that, whether it's getting a bit more agile, working on your agility and balance, getting a bit more slim to drive at players a bit more. And we've seen Reece James. He was a bit more bulky last season. He does look like he's worked on his lean muscle. He is looking a bit more kind of slimmer, and he is working on that. The coach can come out and say all these things to you, but you need to be working on it in the training ground, getting your body in the right stage, taking on players in training, working on that a lot more, and you will do it. And like you said, he does have all the attributes to do that. He has all the attributes to be a really explosive, attack-minded wing back. You can do that, and he can take people on. He has a technical ability. We've seen the pace in the past. People say he doesn't have a lot of pace. Oh, come on. We've seen that explosive pace. And I mean, you mentioned that he is quite maybe passive at times. He does pass the ball backwards quite a lot. And I'm not going to lie, he does do that quite a lot. But against Norwich, I think he'll be fine, and he will do that quite a lot.
I hope so, man. I hope so. All right. I think this one, let's keep playing Chilwell. Yeah?
Yeah, there's no arguments. There's no arguments about that. Let's
Alonso could probably play against Southampton, so I've got no issues with Chilwell's been playing pretty well in recent games, scoring.
It's the goals. Well. It's the goals.
Yeah,
we can't drop him for the goals.
And you know what, Taron? I like how he's playing in these sort of areas lately. He's sort of hanging around this area.
Yeah.
Just outside.
I've realized that. Yeah, he's been making them kind of Alonso-style runs, kind of make it into the box. And his technicals, his finishing's been great as well. His left foot technique for the 2 goals, the Southampton and the Brentford game.
Great volleys.
And even for England. Yeah. And even for England, he was making that run forward. He got into the back post and did that. So yeah, like I said before, we need more attacking players without Lukaku in there, especially Chilwell and Reece James will have more of a responsibility to get forward and support Havertz and Hudson-Odoi and Mount. So yeah, they need to be making them runs again. You're right, yeah.
100%, and I'm liking how he's underlapping and coming in these sort of areas to join in the act and providing goals, which is very, very crucial. I do want to see him a lot more hitting the byline and then cutting it back in for our players. But then you do need all of these players to join into the box. But Chilwell definitely starts in the middle. I'll go first, and then you let me know how you think about this. I do want Thomas Tuchel to take the game to Norwich. No disrespect to Norwich. We should be able to pace them at home. I'm going with, look, Jorginho and Kante played. You can take a pick between Kovacic and Jorginho, but for me, maybe I'll go with Kova. And it could be Jorginho as well. It doesn't really matter. Maybe in the background, I'll just have Jorginho as well. But for me, it has to be Kova and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. That's the combination I'm going with. Or Jorginho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Nothing against Kante. Kante just played in midweek. I want us to have more attacking players. I feel like Ruben, and this is what I want to see more. I want Ruben a little bit further up. Essentially, what I want, Taron, is I want us to box them in, to be honest. I want us to be like this. I want most of the games where we play like this. Do you know what I mean? So in that sense, I want Ruben to be the player to link up with all the other attackers. I feel like Kante in these sort of areas, he's great without the ball to win the ball back, interceptions or whatnot, but we've seen it many times. Kante, especially as well against Malmo, at times Kante would be like, let's say these are all the players. Kante is like the number 10. And I feel like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but that's not his role. He's not there to find the key passes. And it frustrates me when he's in these sort of areas and all of these players are lined up. That's where you need a proper attacking midfielder that can find those passes to all of these players. I mean, what do you reckon, Taron? Would you go with Kova and Ruben Loftus-Cheek? What's your thoughts?
I think if we're counter-pressing against a high block like we saw against Real Madrid last season, I think Kante's perfect because then there's only 3 players against maybe 4, and we saw the pass to Werner, then Havertz at the crossbar, and then everything happened from that. But against a low block, when Kante wins the ball back high up, then you see 5, 6, even 7 players in front of you, and Kante's not a creator, in my opinion. He's not a creator. He's a great we know he's a great counter-presser. He's world-class in his own abilities. But creating is not natural to Kante. He's not a naturally assist-minded player. He's not Mesut Ozil, let's put it that way. And I just think in this game, we need more of an attacking player. Jorginho is another option who can control, dictate the possession, and allow everyone else to go forward. But I'm bringing it back to Lukaku again. We need more attacking flair. We need someone to support the front three. We need a connector. We need another player in there. And Loftus-Cheek, if he wins the ball high up, we know he has a technical ability to affect the goal, to make a pass, to have a great shot. And same with Kovacic as well. It's not like Loftus-Cheek were relying on him. If Loftus-Cheek wants to pull back into that number 6 position that we've seen a lot, then Kovacic can go forward, do the same thing. And that's what I want to see exactly in this game, is that pivot. That's what I had written down here. That too. If
they
you can imagine,
they can rotate. You know what I mean? Like it could be Kovacic going forward, or it could be Ruben Loftus-Cheek going forward. But I feel like we don't need both the players to be like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can push one to be here and the other one to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like there is still 3 defenders there.
Yeah. And even saw Jorginho making them runs into the box against Malmo, which is incredible. I don't know if you picked up on that as well. He was making some mad runs into the box.
Yeah, he was.
And I feel like Tuchel is working on the pivot, being more dynamic in the front three. Last season, we always talked about their main job in this team is to recycle possession, to counter press and give it to attacking players. But now I feel like Tuchel has worked on this. He's told them when you win the ball back, you have to do something. You make a run into the box, you join the attack. We have 5 defenders to support you, 3, and they're all world-class players. So take a risk, especially against Norwich. We need someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek who's physical.
We have to.
Exactly, and we have to. And I think them two pinned in, if you want to change the diagram a little bit to put Kova and Loftus-Cheek a bit higher up, and we're kind of pinning them in, and everyone's kind of there, it could be such a great kind of dynamic there. So that's what I'm going to go for. I want Loftus-Cheek to be as dynamic as ever, and I want him to be counter pressing that high up team.
100%. Chelsea perspective, really good to see you. I think we don't give Kante enough credit for his ability to create chances. The stereotype is killing me. We're not trying to slander Kante. Let's be honest. If I was to ask the live chat, nearly 75 of you guys are on right now, what would be Kante's strongest skill set, or what would be his strongest traits? You wouldn't say creating chances is his strongest ability. That's not what Kante does. That's not what he has done for the past how many years that he's played on a professional level. I just don't want to see Kante in these sort of areas. I really don't. Because most of the times against Norwich, this will be the scenario. I'll kid you not. This will be the scenario. Most of the times. Let's just say this is Kante. It's like this. Most of the times, we're going to see this particular formation take place against Norwich. I don't want to see Kante here. I really don't. But then again, I'm not saying we don't need Kante. You could very well have Kante. You could very well have Kante here. Let's say, for argument's sake. Let me just fix this up. Let's just cross that. You could very well have Kante here. Kante does that for France. Do you know what I mean? Kante does that with Pogba, with France. But the thing with Kante, when he's in these areas, sometimes he tends to go up and then leaves a whole gap here, which then exposes the back 3. Now, that may be okay against Norwich because it is still 3 there. But against quality teams, we're going to get caught out. Kante, if he was disciplined enough to just stick there, and this is what all the coaches have said, Kante just has this natural ability to chase after the ball. Do you know what I mean? He can't just be sitting there. So, and if we get a sitter, let's say we have Jorginho. If we put Jorginho, and then we have Kante. I just don't like Kante in this location where he needs to find the passes to the key players. I mean, Taron, am I talking rubbish here? What's your thoughts? Chelsea perspective thinks that the stereotype is killing him.
Nah, I don't think it's a stereotype at all. And like you said, I'm not trying to say that Kante is bad at creating chances. I'm just saying it's not one of his best attributes. If you think about it, who would you rather have in that key area? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, or Kante? I'd say it goes Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, and then Kante. And Kante is just world-class in winning the ball back high up. But especially against Norwich, when you win it there, you need players who are going to play a defense-playing pass, who are going to do something, who are going to, win the ball back in the area and also create goal scoring opportunity. And I feel like Kante will win the ball up, but then he will see 3, 4, 5 defenders in front of him, and it'll be very difficult. If we have Loftus-Cheek there, he can win the ball high up, then bulldoze past someone, find a pass, have a shot, use technical ability. And I think that is one of Loftus-Cheek's best traits. Can we all agree with that? Loftus-Cheek's one of his best traits is bulldozing past people, creating chances, shooting, 100%. Assisting. Kante's best attribute is winning the ball back, and not, in my opinion, creating a goal scoring opportunity. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, but yeah.
No, 100% agreed. 100% agreed, man. All right, let's bring it back to the formations again. Who are your front three, bro? And then I'll go with mine.
So my friend Ryan's just come in the chat, so if he's saying that, just allow him sell Kante for £5. Yeah, front three, Mason Mount on the right. I think this is the easiest part of the team today, in my opinion. There's really no one else who I would put there, apart from, I don't even know.
That's going to be my selection as well. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Mason Mount, Havertz, and Hudson-Odoi, 100%.
That's the way I'm going with as well. Mason Mount, Havertz, and Hudson-Odoi. Just on Mason, I know he didn't score goals. I know he didn't assist anything. But his press, his energy, his ability to play quick. He plays the ball quick. Whether it's a pass, whether it's a cross, everything is quick. And I do appreciate that. And especially against a team that's going to defend a lot, you need players to be quick. I mean, Taron, I honestly can't see any other players that are available at the moment that plays ball quicker than Mount. He's always hustling. Do you see any other players doing the same thing?
No, I think he's so unique in what he does. He has everything we need, apart from maybe we can always talk about his goal contributions are never as high. And when he does get into his game, he could be one of the best players in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, just that intensity, that intent to take people on, that intent to get shoulder to shoulder with a player and try and create something, the intent to drive at someone, to press higher up. As we mentioned, the pressing at the start of this particular show, Mountain has everything we need in the front three. And you can see when we play 3-5-2, whether we have three kind of, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Kovacic and Jorginho, we're missing a connector. And Mason Mount, he can play on the right, he can play on the left, he can play down the middle, he can even join the front three. And we want to see that fluid front three. And I think Mason Mount is so comfortable in all the three positions. He can drift over to the left, he can go up front. It's going to be a big asset. We don't need static players in this game. We need to move around that Norwich defence. If we move Kabak out of position, I think it could be dangerous for Norwich. So, yeah, I think Mason Mount, like you said, I don't have enough good words. This season's been a very slow start for him. You can't blame him after the Euro campaign, after a new target man joining, after the competition in the team. But I feel like this is the time where Mason Mount is going to step up, and this is the main game for it. Trust me now.
100%, man. And he's saying the right things as well. I think recently he was quoted to say he understands he hasn't scored enough, he hasn't assisted enough, and he's looking to do that. He's looking to improve that. I love that. When a player just knows what he needs to do, this guy's very aware what he needs to do, and those things are going to click in. Taron, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Havertz, we've already mentioned. This is it, bro. You've now got your chance. You're probably going to play quite a few big, important matches. Probably Southampton, some other players might get an opportunity. Maybe Hakim Ziyech will get an opportunity. But Callum and Havertz will probably get a bit of a run now with Lukaku and Timo Werner, and also Pulisic still nowhere to be seen. I mean, Taron, we are relying on these players to give us goals and assists. Like, let's not kid around. I know Thomas Tuchel said, and this is what some of the live chat people have been saying, that if Callum doesn't have a good game, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but the expectation, Taron, is there from Callum Hudson-Odoi and Havertz to deliver. Is that how you feel as well?
Well, who else are we going to rely on, really? Chilwell, again, we don't really want to have to rely on Chilwell to score, be our top goal scorer, or Jorginho from the penalty spot. So it does kind of rely on to our forwards. And Hudson-Odoi, we always mention that he is a great take-on player, but in the final third, he has not been as decisive as nearly was at youth level. His assists, his goals, not been as promising numbers. Was his first goal for Lampard like against Burnley, and it was like a year and a half after his debut or something. And Havertz, we want him to be scoring more goals. The Malmo was perfect. It was a great finish. But consistently, on a consistent basis, that is where we need Havertz to be playing and scoring goals, because he can score once every 3 games and do good for his confidence, but that's not going to benefit the team as a whole. Every game he comes, up against any team, he needs to be providing a goal or an assist, at least, in my opinion. And yeah, that front too. Well, Havertz and Hudson-Odoi, they've actually got a lot of attention in the media for their goal contributions together at the West Brom game, the Man City game, the Malmo game. There's been a lot of instances.
That was really nice against Malmo, wasn't it, Taron? The CHO and Havertz connection.
Beautiful. I saw that. Actually, I'm going to be honest. I was in the canteen getting a burger, and I actually missed the goal. But I watched on the TV. Don't worry, in the canteen area in the stadium. But yeah, it was a great driving run. We want to see this from Hudson-Odoi. We've seen since his injury, he's not been as fluid as taking on players. But this is what we want to see: that dynamic kind of explosive speed. And I'll just say, Havertz's timing of the run, he just held his run a little bit and then he was gone. And it was a world-class finish. It was beautiful. So we want to be seeing this. And them two, I think it's weird to say, but some people may just naturally connect in the way they play with each other. Timo Werner and Lukaku will take time to develop, but I think Havertz and Cho, they didn't even play a lot in the Lampard's second season, but they had a natural kind of knack of when to play one,
just a natural chemistry, right?
Yeah. Just a natural kind of way their game starts matching each other. I don't know what it is. And hopefully we'll see this even in the Crystal Palace game where Havertz was world class. We saw that link-up play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to see that again.
Brilliant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is our lineup. Let me know what your thoughts are. We've got nearly 100 people. Please, I honestly would love you guys to smash the like button. If we can get to 100 likes, that will be phenomenal for the stream. So please, if you've been here from the get-go and you're enjoying it, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time as well, subscribe. Let's help the channel get to 8,000 subscribers. And also don't forget, Taron and his socials are all in the description. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Make sure you follow his podcast as well. All the link and everything, all the details are in the description right now. This is the lineup: Mendy, goalkeeper; Rudiger, Andres Christensen, Aspie, the back three. Probably Thiago Silva will feature against Southampton. This is the sort of ideology that I'm having. Chalobah will probably feature against Southampton as well in midweek in the Carabao Cup. Reece James in the right wing back, Chilwell as a left wing back. We could possibly see either Kovacic or Jorginho. That's the predicted lineup that we're going with in the middle, along with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Up front, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Havertz and Mount is the crowd favorite at the moment. This is the one that we want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now get to the final part, which is the score prediction. Taron, what's your thoughts, my man?
I would go for a massive 5-0 win, but even against Malmo, who are one of the worst sides, honestly, to be completely respectful, but also a bit of banter, they're one of the worst sides I've ever seen live in my life, and we only managed to beat them 4-0.
Malmo was bad.